A nice little intimate route. So welcome everyone, and again, thanks Laurel, and thanks to all the other readers. This is a fantastic series. I'm very happy to be a part of it. Okay, the first two poems I'm going to read are both don't have, neither has a title, but both of them kind of draw on overheard conversations, which I tend to find to be a very interesting and often entertaining source of inspiration. So I will start with two of those. It is not unreasonable to assume the existence of a Seinfeld that would explain all life. That would be a catalog of the damned, a card of can be seen. Then the bag of water tipped and proceeded to form a horizon. Congratulations, I like your shirt. So now we're pretty much here. The sandwich is 6 inches above the ground. This is a strut laboratory, tumorous rage. Wide hips mean wide ass. Carefully knotted updo towel. Better off for a while, but then they fought, crossing off denial. Short hairs off a shining brow. Spots they didn't even show us. Every guy friend has that one guy friend, splay-toed and sagacious. January, February, March, May. We became Unitarians and married. It's not a relationship, it's a situation. The longboat launched at last. My hair pulled back by an amazing hand. Flies swarming and scattered. Each of 53 homes is an evil chase of the X of men. They're going to be boys. I'm like ginormous. I'm like, don't touch me. I'm like a beached whale. I can't move. My whole side getting wet, and he's snoring. It's 2 sons, and they're going to get married. They don't even talk. One of them starts making a noise, and then it's like, ha ha. Boys, you know, just let stuff go. I'm sure that's a stereotype to some extent. Girl or boy, whatever. It's just so relentless. My mom said on Facebook, ha 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 ha. I wanted to tell them, assholes. My mom's like, someday when you're gone, they actually is like the stories that comes out of him in bits and pieces. I was crying today. You just watched me cry. His big word now to get a reaction is, Miss Melissa told me how to, and I brought my camera to document this. She started nodding off, intentionally. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm not. I don't remember agreeing to the pictures. At night I thought I was going into labor. Then I'm having contractions while eating a sandwich. That really, really hurt. It was a hurt wedding dress. They were coming every 3 minutes. Suit is cards. Suit, suit. No one was talking on the phone. It's just a question of all the bowling ball things. People just sound so brutal. I love lettuce. But it's late. You have to take one. You go and you discard, and then whatever is left, you say, yeah. The next two poems are both cantunes, and for those of you who aren't familiar with this form, it's a kind of repetitive structure where alternating lines repeat throughout the poem in a fairly complicated pattern that's probably too difficult to describe, but they're good both for, I found, very kind of serious, weighty poems and for totally ridiculous poems. So I'm going to read one of each kind. The first one is just called Pantune. What is friendship but a thought to be repeated, describing a landscape? No book shall come after. A thought to be repeated like the yaw of rain. no book shall come after this undrawn eye. Like the yaw of rain across an empty sleeve, this undrawn eye carves paths in air. Across an empty sleeve, your warming hand carves paths in air toward my forgotten body. Your warming hand unraveling words toward my forgotten body in its shivered shell. Unraveling words reach uncut hair in its shivered shell of aimless motion. Reach uncut hair through your weary swell of aimless motion, devastation template. Through your weary swell, each foot is fitted, devastation template, a music of names. Each foot is fitted. What is friendship but a music of names describing the landscape? The other pantoum is called Overheard Pantoum, Culver City, California. Do you watch a lot of pilots you don't know anything about? I love a socked crotch on a young, good-looking guy. You don't know anything about this wealthy oil dude scamming on a young, good-looking guy. He hit pay dirt. This wealthy oil dude scamming actually loves both of those women. He hit pay dirt. He's really a super sweet guy. Actually loves both of these women, but can't find an audience. He's really a super sweet guy in a restaurant that technically doesn't exist, but can't find an audience. I gave her like 10 notes in a restaurant that technically doesn't exist. Don't mention that little plot line. I gave her like 10 notes. She got a good response. Don't mention that little plot line. He's divorced. She got a good response. We love the title, A Wrinkle in Time. He's divorced. Something people can relate to. We love the title, A Wrinkle in Time. So much depth, I thought, to this character. Something people can relate to, how he processes the dump. So much depth, I thought, to this character, half Tony Scott, half Warner Brothers. How he processes the dump speaks to the soul. Half Tony Scott, half Warner Brothers. He doesn't have an agent who speaks to the soul. And this woman's voice, he doesn't have an agent who can see another guy. And this woman's voice kind of becomes acting. Can see another guy she's kind of falling for, kind of becomes acting. The proverbial volleyball. She's kind of falling for a gigantic space station. The proverbial volleyball relives their love story. A gigantic space station on the Boston Common relives their love story. They're in pre-production on the Boston Common. It's the Italian. They're in pre-production. Suicide by Jellyfish. It's the Italian crush of bloggers. Suicide by Jellyfish, this is my future. Crush of bloggers. Do you watch a lot of pilots? This is my future. I love a socked crotch. And literally, I think I probably added about 3 words total to what I actually overheard in this conversation. So it was pretty amazing. Okay, the next 3 poems I'm going to read are from a larger product that I'm working on of card catalog poems. Now, for those of you who are younger, you may not remember that once upon a time when you went to the library, rather than going to the computer and looking something up, you actually had to go over to this big drawer of cards and pull them out, and there'd be all these cards in the drawer, and you'd have to actually pick through the cards, and there'd be all this weird information on the card, and then you'd look up what you found and go to the shelf and get it. Well, a few years back when I was in graduate school, I was, by one of the computer terminals in the library, and there was a stack of index cards. I thought just to write things down. So I grabbed one and I started writing on it, And then I turn it over. And I realize what it is it's actually a card from the card catalog. They were getting rid of their whole card catalog and just using it for scrap. And I thought, wow, this is really disturbing and weird. But then I became fascinated with the language that was actually on the card. There's the author's name, there's the title, but there's also all these weird abbreviations and numbers and symbols. What do they mean? How are things categorized? And so I became kind of obsessed with this. And so I started to write card catalog poems. And here were the rules that I applied to the poems. I had to use every piece of language that was on the card. Whether it was a word, whether it was a number, whether it was a symbol, everything had to be used. I could not add or subtract anything. However, I could repeat words as frequently as I needed to, and I could arrange them in whatever order I saw fit. So some interesting things resulted, and it became a rather interesting project. So I'm going to read you 3 pieces from that project. Okay, here goes. DT236.Q2444413. Martin Gaddafi, Arabic and English, added the problem of Muammar O'Keefe. Green democracy contents by government. London by politics, Libya by book. Part 1, solution of main problem. HBR/CAT 860703. Brian Gaddafi of London, ill and green. Solution, democracy. Volume 1, Stack of Arabic Politics, 77-362052 by book. TP Government. Title, ISBN 0-85616-410-0. Brian, Martin, Al-Kitab al-Akhdar is O'Keefe versus Gaddafi. B 000002 CST 19 centimeters. Title of ill. 1 democracy added by Martin. 2 politics added by democracy. LL.25 government of green. 860702 contents the problem. RPL government 4739400-B. Title, Al-Kitab, 77-362052D. I added Martin, Gaddafi, O'Keefe by English politics. Problem of green. Imprint 3, number 40495. Shoemaker God. Close the microphone. Contrary to the word. Micro-opaque God. Love the references to Dedham, Mass. Second Able, main room of God, 23 by 15 centimeters. Microprint communion, JNE/SMR, tolerance printer. Love Able, religious aspects, Christianity, God, love. Early American God, courtesy of tolerance, 860703D2, 860702 CST, second series God, no love, 12 pages, 1817. D. Aline, Redex, 40495, New York Baptists, New York. Microtext God, of AAS 1980, A000839 CST. 1 Shaw God imprints, 2 references, and 3 aspects. 86 B61257. And 1 more from this series. TD791.S79, copy 1. New York, refuse planning and practice, municipal management. Index Handbook of Waste. Engineering includes 300 pages of refuse, circa 1980. 24 centimeters of planning. Barbara, practice van engineering. 1946, 11/12/80. Environmental AM. Refuse Reinhold, XBI. Handbook of Stevens, J. ISBN 04422333620. Refuse and refuse, Barbara Eng. Waste 17791359S, Series CSL. Practice disposal. Ill systems planning, ill. No strand engineering, refuse. Okay, I'm just going to read one more short poem. And so I think this was sometime early last year. Morrissey, the former lead singer of the Smiths, was reported to have collapsed during a performance in England. And of course, whenever I see Celebrity's X has collapsed, I think of the Frank O'Hara poem that Lana Turner has collapsed. And so I thought that, in closing, I'd share my kind of updating of that poem. Morrissey has collapsed. I was unconscious after just one song and then reported respiratory problems. And your account has been frozen in a stable condition at the Oasis Leisure Center in Swindon. There are a fair few saying that he collapsed / walked off after delivering a blistering "This Charming Man." British media quoted fans as saying, "OMG, Morrissey collapsed on stage." It wasn't looking too hot when he, nay, Stephen Patrick Morrissey, mope-pop, big-eyed, ears, was rushed to hospital. Get well soon, Matza. Perhaps a bit macabre, but what the heck. Oh, Morrissey, we love you. Get up.